Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to see current affairs of 18th August 2022. So let's get started with our discussion and let us try to see today's quote. So today's quote is regarding education. Education, health, poverty, hunger, women empowerment. So those are some important topics, and from that topics you can expect your essay. So please be prepared with some quotes regarding such an important topics where you can be pre-prepared. So education is not the learning of facts, but it is training of mind to think. So whatever the things that you are studying, so you have to implement them in your daily life. For example, you have studied some experiments in your science, physics, chemistry, right? So you have to train your mind, like you have to think in that way. So whatever the education that you had, that need to be useful. Okay, so now let's try to see the first topic. It is regarding maritime partnership. So this article is exclusively important from your international relations, which comes in a GS paper too, and that too from your mains point of view. So now let us try to understand this topic, and this topic is very important from your mains, and for sure you can see a question regarding this maritime partnership in your mains. So if you're talking about why this is a news, so first of all, at the docking of this US NS Charles Drew. So it is US Navy dry cargo ship. So it mainly came for repair at the Indian facility in Chennai last week. So because of this is a news. So whenever this US Navy cargo ship, which is mainly for the repair in this Indian facility in Chennai, so it is one of the important step which marks for India-US military relationship. Okay, it says that there is improving of India and US military relationship. So during this recent bilateral meet, that is 2+2 dialogue between India and US that happened recently in April, so the two countries, they agreed to explore the possibilities of using Indian shipyards. Okay, so they said that they can use Indian shipyards especially for repairing and for maintenance of the ships of this US military. Okay, so this is the one important thing. So because of this, we can see there is a dockyard, okay, docking of this naval ship of US which happened in this Chennai. And the weeks following that meeting, here EMSC, that is a Military Sea Lift Command, it also came up and carried out some exhaustive audit of Indian ads. And after this audit completed, it cleared the facility in this Kattupalli for the repair of these US military vessels. And now we can see there is a US military vessel docking at this Indian facility, and because of this we can see there will be the both functional implications and as well as political implications because of this docking of US naval ship in India. So if you are talking about functionally, so because of this US docking, okay, US ship docking in India, so it signals efficient leveraging of this LEMOA. So LEMOA, it is one of the important agreement which signed between India and US in 2017. It stands for Logistics Exchange Memorandum of Agreement. So let me know what is this LEMOA. So number of times we discussed about this LEMOA. So if you don't know, please let me know in the comment section, so that in the tomorrow's topic of the day we are going to discuss about this LEMOA. And in this way here, India-US cooperation under this LEMOA, which had largely been confined to exchange of fuels and stores during the joint exercise and as well as relief operations. So with the arrival of this US military vessel at this Indian dockyard, so here we can say like broadening of this LEMOA which mainly seen here. And it is a good possibility now that India would also seek reciprocal access to the repair facilities of Indian naval ships in this US bases as well. Okay, so this is one important thing or reference. And if you are talking about the second important thing, that is politically, so how it is important. So here political development is also very important because it signals consolidation of India-US partnership and as well as coordinated security dialogue, that is India, Japan, Australia and as well as US. So here our India, that is Government of India, or the New Delhi decision to open up repair facilities for this US military, which also suggests greater Indian readiness to accommodate maritime interest as well. Okay, so this is about the one more important reference, okay, reference from this topic. And if you're talking about what is a CMF cooperation, so CMF is nothing but Combined Maritime Forces. So Indian Navy is also commenced in its operation with the Bahrain-based multilateral partnership and even Combined Maritime Forces as an associate member. So in this way here, this comes after India had announced its intention to join the grouping, okay, for the regional security goals as well. So in this way, India's political and military leadership is seeing this as a demonstration of India's commitment towards collective responsibility and how we are ensuring the security in the shared commons. So this is about this topic. And now let us move on to next topic. It is regarding adoption process. So title says finding the home. So this article especially focusing on this adoption process. So why it is in news? Because recently one report released regarding the reality of adoption in the country. So here author says that policy intervention without knowledge of the ground realities often ends up as an exercise in self-gratification for those in authority and results in little or no benefit for the intended target group. So what happens? So whenever any policy which is coming up by government, so the policy need to be come up with the knowledge regarding so what is happening on the ground reality. So without knowledge on ground reality, so what are the policies that are coming up by government, so they will be having little results or no results. So this is the thing which mainly said by author. So why author spoke about this policy intervention without the knowledge of ground reality? Because recent report regarding the adoption in India. So the report title here is Review of Guardianship and Adoption Laws by Parliamentary Standing Committee on Personal Public Grievances, Law and Justice. So here Parliamentary Standing Committee which came up with a report, and the title of that report is Review of Guardianship and Adoption Laws. So here this report pointed that there is a very huge mismatch. Okay, there is a very huge mismatch between the number of people who want to adopt children and number of children who are legally available for the adoption. So here the number of people who want to adopt the children, they were more compared to the number of children who are legally available for this adoption. Okay, so here this is the one thing which mainly said by this report. So it also suggests one remedy that it can ensure that the orphan and as well as abandoned children they found begging on the streets, so they can be brought and they can be made available for the adoption at the earliest. So this is one important recommendation which mainly given by this report or Parliamentary Standing Committee report. So here if you see some important details given in this article, it says that this report suggested that periodic district surveys to be done, and in this surveys they need to identify children who are orphaned or abandoned. So the report argued that country with millions of orphans, only 2,430 children they were available for adoption. So here if we want to bring that children who are found begging in the streets, so we need to go for periodic surveys and we need to identify the children whether they are orphaned or abandoned, and we need to make them available for the adoption. And this report which says that about 27,939 prospective parents they registered with this CARA. Okay, so there are about 28,000, approximately 28,000 parents they had been registered under this CARA that they want to go for adoption of the children. Okay, and here the data according to 2017 was just 18,000, but within this 5 years of span there is 10,000 more members they had been registered with this CARA for adoption. So there were about 7,000 orphaned, abandoned and surrendered children they were residing in these child care institutions. But out of this only 2,430 children they were declared that they are legally free for adoption under this CARA. Okay, so this is the one reality that we can see. So here this report also claimed that what are the waiting period for the adoption had been increased 3 years from 1 year, because the number of children they are less compared to the number of parents who registered under this CARA. So because of this the waiting period for adoption had been increased from 1 year to 3 years from the past 5 years. Right, so if you're talking about the process of adoption in the country, it was tightened because of less number of children are present and there are increasing of registrations of the parents to get adoption, right? So here the procedure which had been tightened and legally also, because there are many times we can see malpractices that are happening in this adoption. So if you're talking about, so which is the authority which takes care about the adoption in the country, that is CARA. So CARA, it is a nodal agency in country, and it will focus on even inter-country adoptions. From one country they are coming and they want to adopt the children in India, yes, for that also this CARA will be the nodal authority, and it will mainly monitors and regulate the process, and even it ensures that stringent rules that the adoption is in the best interest of the child and there is no illegality is involved. So it will check about the illegality as well. Okay, so this is the responsibility of this CARA, and this is the ground reality of adoption in India. And let me discuss about the next topic. It is regarding data opportunity at G20. So this article which is talking about data collection and data sharing. So this article is important from your GS paper to under international relations, because we are going to talk about this platform of G20, how it can provide the opportunity for data sharing and as well as data collection. So this article is very important from your mains point of view, and for sure, for 100% I can say you can get a question regarding this data collection, data sharing, because with the withdrawal of this personal data protection bill, okay, in India, so here there is a high chance of getting question from this topic for sure. So the students who are going to write this year mains, so please be prepared with this topic for sure. Okay, don't leave this topic. So if we're talking about why it is in news, so the global politics of data which is rapidly evolving day by day. So for example, if you're talking about digital economies, that is emerging digital economies like European Union, US, India, Indonesia, South Africa, they are mainly striving hard to protect and to monetize and to leverage data collected within their territories for the domestic purposes. So whatever the data they generated, they want to protect this data and they want to monetize the data, and they want to leverage the data which is collected from their territories. They have to be stored in their countries, and that data should be used for their domestic purposes. So because of this here, data location and data collection, data sharing, it is one of the important aspect now. So data, it is becoming like a big currency nowadays. So here what happened, why we need to collect the data, why we need to store this data properly? Why? Because of increasing of privacy, because of increasing of security concerns, they are also coupled with the economic interest. So because of this, yes, we need to restrict this cross-border flows of data, okay, because they will be having some implications on the global trade and as well as commerce. So here we need to collect the data properly and we need to secure the data properly. So for this, we need to have a data protection bill. So whether this data protection law which is present in India or not, no, not it. So according to one report, that is Information Technology and Innovation Foundation Data Localization Law. So here this, according to this ITIF, that is Information Technology and Innovation Foundation, which mainly said that, so localization law, that is data localization. So what is the meaning of this data localization? So what are the data which is collected in this country one, that data should be stored in this country one itself. So there should be no cross bordering of data, because whenever this data which is collected in this so and so country which is stored in the second country means, so the laws of this first country will not be implied for that country too. So here this data, if there is any violation of this laws means, so this country will not comes under the jurisdiction of this country one laws. So whenever the data which is collected in this country, whenever we are storing that data in this country one itself, so whatever the laws which are present in this country, that can be applicable if there is any violation. So because of this, your data localization is very important. And here, according to this report by this Information Technology and Innovation Foundation, it says that data localization laws have more than doubled. Okay, so this data localization laws have more than doubled from this 2017 to 2021. It mainly indicates that states seek a want increasing levels of regulatory control over data. So it says that yes, the countries, they are focusing especially on this data security, and they want to control and they want to ensure that their jurisdiction, their laws will be implied on that data. So as the rising of data market with critical stakes in multilateral and regional negotiations of data, so how can India negotiate data with when it assumes the leadership of G20? So here the one important question that mainly raised by the author here is, so in this data market, so with the critical stakes in multilateral and regional negotiations on data is happening, so how can India assumes, so what is the role that can be played by the India in this G20? So actually this G20, it is an organization which contains 19 countries along with European Union. So this G20 which provides as a viable platform to discuss the data. So there they are going to discuss the data, and particularly they will talk about data sharing, data transferring, and even converging the position of data governance among these major G7 powers. And also they will be focusing on emerging economies as the state finds a greater role in regulating data. So here this article which mainly says that yes, G20 which is mainly providing a platform, and in this platform they will go for discussing of data, particularly they will talk about the sharing of data, transferring of data, etc. here. And here this G20 does not create a binding rules, but what is the role played by this G20? So G20 platform which mainly helps to catalyze, and it will inject the new thinking around the critical current issues which are going on across the world. And since 2017 onwards, India is also focusing to come up with the law on this personal data, right? So we came up with this personal data bill, and we are focusing on especially e-commerce regulation and artificial intelligence, etc. Okay, but recently we came up with this withdrawal of this data protection bill. So it is one of cause of concern here. So here G20 at this G20, so what Indian government can do? So Indian government should present a holistic agenda, and this should focus on data collection, data sharing within the border framework, and even we need to prioritize about digital security, innovation, and as well as citizen rights. So these are some areas of focus that we need to focus. Okay, so here author mainly says that the ongoing effort to redraft this personal data protection bill. So here we are coming up with again redrafting of this personal data protection bill, and we are also having focus on the cyber security as well. So cyber security is also need to be an urgent domestic priority. Okay, so this is about this topic. And now let us try to say next topic is regarding Arctic warming. So this Arctic warming, it is one of the important cause of concern, and it is a result of climate change. So this article is important from your GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. So now let us try to understand this topic. Actually this region is our Arctic region, right? So here we have Greenland, here we have Atlantic, and here we have Laptev Sea. So here we have to focus on the map as well. So this will be very important because you can also get map based questions in your prelims for sure. So now let us try to see this topic. So why this in news? So because of this increasing of global temperature, or I can say like because of this global warming, so there is like changes that we can see, and we can see there is a surface air temperature which had been increased, and net radiation balance tend to produce larger changes at north and south poles. Okay, so due to global warming, so what happened, there is increasing of the surface air temperature, and heat balance is also negative. That means we can see the more heat which is received by the earth than compared to that of the reflection or the radiation, right? Okay, so here what happened, because of this heat balance is also imbalanced. Okay, so heat imbalance that we are seeing, so because of this we can see there is increasing or overheat and global warming is happening. So because of this, especially it is having some impact on larger changes that is seen in this north and as well as south poles. So because if you see this polar region, so they will be getting, okay, for example if you see north pole, so it will be getting or receiving heat for 6 months, and south pole which is getting the heat for the 6 months. So because of this, so this polar region which is mainly covered with the ice, right? So here what happened, because of this global warming, the melting of this ice which is happening. So because of this melting of ice, so as all the seas are interconnected, that will be having impact on the each and every area on the globe. So these changes, they are more pronounced in the northern latitudes. They are known as Arctic amplification. So because of this global warming, or increasing of global temperature, and that led to increasing of the surface air temperature. So it is having some more pronounced impact on the northern latitudes. So this is called as Arctic amplification. So you can get a question like, so recently Arctic amplification is seen in news, so what it is related to? So Arctic amplification is nothing but, so there are changes that we can see in the northern latitudes due to global warming, that is called as Arctic amplification. So if you see some details which are given in this article, which mainly says that in May 2021, so Arctic Monitoring Assessment Program, so this program which warned that Arctic has warmed 3 times quicker than the planet. So Arctic has been warmed, which is 3 times greater. And for the several years, Greenland ice sheet has been melting at an alarming rate. So because of this increasing of Arctic amplification or increasing of or warming of this Arctic region. So as you all know, this Greenland, which is mainly filled up of ice, so this ice which started melting, and it is also melting at a very high rate. So between July 15 and 17, 2022, Greenland ice sheet saw a sharp spike in the rate and extent of melting. So that's a very high rate of melting in this Greenland. And the study group, and the study by the group of Indian and Norwegian scientists, they found that reduced sea ice in this Barents and Kara Sea region, so and that can lead to extreme rainfall events in the later half of the monsoons in September and October. So whenever there is melting of ice, so whenever ice is there, means you can see high pressure area. So because of this high pressure area, so there will be no movement of winds upside, so that for that there will be no formation of clouds. But whenever there is water is there, and because of this increasing of temperature, global warming, so water become heat, so that will lead to creation of this low pressure area. So because of this low pressure area, the ascending of winds happens, and that will lead to formation of clouds. So this is the one important reason for there might be the heavy rainfalls in the later half of monsoon, that is in the month of September and as well as October. So this is the concept behind that. So now let us have a look over the map. So here we have Russia here, and here we have this part will be Greenland, and here we can see Barents Sea, here we can see Kara Strait, and here we can see Kara Sea, here we can see Laptev Sea. So this mainly comes from this Arctic Ocean region. So now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding Delhi's particulate matter 2.5 levels worst in the world. So this article which is talking about PM 2.5 and even NO2 emissions. So in which cities there is high amount of this emissions. So this is about this recent report. So now let us try to see this topic in detail and what are the data that we are reading in this article. So that will be important from your mains point of view, and you can add the data whenever you are writing about PM 2.5, and especially when you are talking about this air pollution in this national capital region. So this article is important from your GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. So now let us try to see this topic in detail. So if you see why it is in news. So recently one report released regarding global analysis of air quality. So recently report released regarding a global analysis of air quality found that Indian cities recording this particulate matter PM, particulate matter, that is PM 2.5, that are among highest in the world. So in the world, Indian cities are releasing highest amount of this PM 2.5 when we are comparing with that of this nitrogen dioxide emissions. So in Indian cities they are releasing lot of amount of this PM 2.5. So now let us go into details of this report. So the report here is Air Quality and Health in Cities, and this report released by US based Health Effects Institutes, and this report which analyzes pollution and global health effects for more than 7,000 cities around the world. And this report which is focusing on two important and harmful pollutants, that is PM 2.5 and as well as nitrogen dioxide. So this report which mainly using the data from 2010 to 2019 and found that global patterns for exposures, the two key air pollutants were strikingly different. So if you are comparing with one area to another area, So their contribution to these two things, that is PM 2.5 and nitrogen dioxide, is very much different. And if you are talking about whenever we are coming in exposure to this PM 2.5 pollution, so here this PM 2.5 pollution is seen highly in this low and middle income countries. And if you are talking about NO2 pollution is seen especially in this high income and high income countries than compared to of this low and middle income countries. So we can see there is difference even in these emissions, okay, when we are comparing with this high and as well as low and medium income countries. So if you see the data in India, so Delhi and Kolkata, they were ranked first and second. Okay, yes, we are standing first. Okay, not only in the population by 2030, but even in this PM 2.5 pollution, yes, Delhi and Kolkata, they ranked first and second in the list of top 10 most populous cities. And if you are talking about NO2, so no Indian city is appearing in the list of top 10, okay, regarding this NO2 levels. So from where we can see this NO2 emissions are happening. So especially whenever we are seeing about the burning of fuels in older vehicles and power plants and industrial facilities and residential cooking and heating areas, so they will be releasing this NO2 emission, that is nitrogen dioxide. And if you are talking about some facts regarding this PM 2.5, that is particulate matter 2.5, which refers to particles that have diameter, and this diameter which is less than 2.5 micrometers. So these particles, they are formed as a result of burning fuel and as well as because of some chemical reactions that take place in our atmosphere. And the natural process such as whenever there is any forest fires, that will contribute to releasing of this PM 2.5 in the air. Okay, and these particles, so what is the cause of concern? Because they are the primary reason for the occurrence of this smog. Okay, so this is about this topic. And now let me make a small announcement. We in Rathod's IES, we came up with this prelims test series. And this exclusive test series, we are going to provide 30 tests, which includes 26 GS and 4 CSAT papers. And we are providing good quality questions as per our UPSC standards. And we are also focusing on 1.5 year current affairs from January 2022 onwards. So this is a very important, and try to join this course. The cost is also very much affordable, that is just 3,000 rupees for 30 tests, just 100 rupees for one test. So this is highly affordable and as well as accessible to all, but we are not compromising on the quality. Yes, we are providing the quality questions. So this will be very useful to understand whether you are in a right direction or not. So try to join this test series, and if you want to know any queries, if you have any queries regarding this course, so please contact me on this number 8074765513. Just investing of 3,000 rupees will help to clear this prelims. Okay, don't think about the money, so try to invest the money. Just it is 3,000 rupees for 1 year. And if you want to purchase this course, you have to visit our website rathodsisacademy.com. There, okay, you can register with your email ID and you can click on the course list. You can see this prelims test series and you can click just on buy now and fill the details. Okay, so now let us see some more important articles that appeared in other newspapers. Title says, outdated data used to clear projects in disaster prone coastal areas, SCAG report. So this article is talking about the SCAG report, Controller Auditor General report on this coastal areas. So this topic is exclusively important from your environment and ecology, and here you can get prelims and as well as both mains related questions from this topic. So this topic is important from your GS paper 3. So now let us try to understand why it is in news. So CAG, that is Controller and Auditor General of India, they came up with a report in Parliament, okay, regarding whether the steps taken by Union Environment and Forest Ministry to conserve India's coastal ecosystem have been successful or not. Okay, so CAG report talks about what are the steps taken by this Union Environment Ministry to conserve India's coastal ecosystem has been successful or not. So actually you know that our coastal ecosystem, which is mainly degrading day by day, and there are number of reports which are saying that so there is coastal erosion which is evident, correct? So if you are talking about the findings of this audit of this CAG regarding Environment Ministry performance, so it came up with some important details. So first one here is National Coastal Zone Management Authority, that is NCZM. It is still functioning as an ad hoc body. Okay, so it is one of cause of concern. So because of this, it is having a negative impact on the coastal conservation. Next one is here there is delay or non-existent of a state or union territory coastal zone management authorities. For example, Karnataka still has not constituted, and if you say Goa, West Bengal, Odisha, they have delayed in reconstitution, and in Andhra Pradesh, district level committees, they have not been established. So this is also delay that is seen. Next one here is several projects approved despite environment impact assessment report highlighted inconsistency. Okay, so without proper environment impact assessment, so for the several projects they already given the permission. So there is some illegal construction activities that is happening that led to decreasing of this coastal space, and even whenever there is effluent, that is a discharges from the local bodies, industries and aqua farms, they are released into the water directly. And even expert appraisal committee not being present during the project deliberations. Okay, so these are some loopholes that we can see in this coastal zone management. And if you're talking about what are the issues at the state level, it states they haven't yet prepared integrated management plan for the critically vulnerable areas. So in these areas, they didn't come up with integrated management plan how to manage and how to restore this coastal areas. This one here is Tamil Nadu did not have a strategy in place to conserve this Gulf of Mannar Islands. And if you see regarding this Goa, so there is no system for monitoring these coral reefs, and there is no management plans to conserve this turtle nesting sites in this area. So these are some important issues from the states. And if you are talking about recommendations, so we need to make this national level and state level things that should be made permanent. There should not be just ad hoc bodies, and there is a need of proper evaluation before granting the licenses, and we need to come up with a particular detailed map for the management of these coral reefs, turtle nesting sites, etc. So these are some important recommendations. So I want to give you one mains practice question, that is critically examine coastal regulation zone rules from the perspective of environmental and disruptive justice. Discuss. So try to write this answer for this question for sure. So this will be very helpful for you itself, not for me. And next topic is about NEVA. It is One Nation, One Application is being implemented by using this National E-Vidhan application. So NEVA is nothing but National E-Vidhan application. So because here if you are talking about this NEVA, it is like E-Vidhan application portal. So through this we can go for One Nation, One Application. So NEVA portal that brings all legislature of the country together onto one platform. So we are talking about what are the key benefits of this e-NEVA. So it will be like helpful for the paperless assembly, and it will be helpful in the automation of entire law making process, and it will be also focusing on cloud technology, and even allows data to be accessed anywhere at any time. And Himachal Pradesh is the first digital legislature in the country. Okay, so these are the key benefits of this e-NEVA. So e-NEVA, it is a mission mode project under the Digital India program, okay, which mainly comes under the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. So this point is very important from your prelims. And if you see this infographic on the screen, you can see National E-Vidhan application. Okay, it is like One Nation, One Application. So what are the benefits? It is very easy to use. Okay, so it is mobile friendly and one touch access will be there. And it is also eco-friendly because we are not using paper, that is paperless assembly, and it is also helpful for the digital house, digitalization of house proceedings with the live webcasting, and even it will be focusing on information, so it is providing some authenticated knowledge for the members, citizens, etc. So this is about this e-NEVA, okay, NEVA. So now let us try to see next topic is regarding ethanol blending. So this ethanol blending, it is a new topic. But here we need to see some case studies like how Haryana, which is going to tackle with this stubble burning, and how it is going to have this ethanol, it will helpful in the ethanol blending. So this topic is important from your GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. So this topic is very important. Okay, so if you see the context why it is in use, first of all, so with the aim to cut pollution which is caused by this stubble burning. So in Haryana, Delhi region, So two new, okay, the new second generation ethanol plant, okay, based on indigenous technology, that is based on our own technology, was recently opened on Biofuel Day. So Biofuel Day we celebrate every year on August 10th. So on this day here, so to cut the pollution which caused by this stubble burning and to convert that stubble into the biofuel, so we came up with a new second generation ethanol plant in this Haryana. So if you see some important details, it mainly says that, so this plant which mainly built by Indian Oil Corporation, and it is very much close to this Panipat refinery. And what is the aim of this refinery? It is to utilize 2 lakh tons of rice straw annually, and they are going to generate around 3 crores liters of ethanol annually. Okay, it is mainly built by Indian Oil Corporation and it is located near this Panipat refinery, and the aim it is to utilize about 2 lakh tons of rice straw. And what will be the benefits? So first and the foremost benefit here is it will helpful to reduce the stubble burning, right? It will reduce the air pollution in this Delhi region, and also empowers farmers, and it will be providing some additional income to the farmers, and it is also helpful for generating some employment opportunity as well. And if you are talking about case study, so Haryana has set up about 64.3 megawatts of this biomass power project, and it will consume about 2.37 lakh metric tons of this paddy straw. Okay, and the villagers, they are also categorized into red, yellow and green zones, which mainly focusing on this crop residue burning as well. And Haryana is also providing some subsidy to crop residue management machines and also for the using of this happy seeder machines as well. So now let us try to focus on this prelims practice question. So what is a blue carbon? So carbon captured by the oceans and coastal ecosystems. Option B is carbon sequestration in the forest, biomass and agriculture soils. And option C is carbon is contained in petroleum and natural gas, and carbon present in the atmosphere. So here this blue carbon is nothing but carbon captured by oceans and coastal ecosystems. Option A is correct answer. And topic of day is Nowruz. So Nowruz Mubarak. So here this Nowruz, it is one of the important festival. Okay, it is nothing but Parsis New Year or Iranian New Year. So Nowruz or Nowruz, it is an Iranian and Persian New Year. So the word now means new, Ruz means day. So therefore the word literally translates into a new day. So actually this day which marks the beginning of spring season, and it is celebrated with a great fervor by the members of Parsi community across the globe, including in India. So if we are talking about vocabulary, so docking means nothing but bringing a ship or boat, and optimism means hopefulness and confidence about the future or the success of something. Okay, so optimism means nothing but hopefulness and confidence about the future or the success of something. And worry means feeling or showing caution about possible dangers or problems. Okay, worry means feeling or showing caution about possible dangers or problems. Okay, so this is about the discussion of the day, and I want to make a small announcement. We in Rathod says we came up with complete foundation course for your GS, and there we are providing more than 600 hours of video classes, and we are discussing each and every topic along with the prelims test series and mains answer rating codes. And we will be also providing one-to-one mentorship as well, and there will be personal guidance. So the cost of this foundation course with a validity of 2 years, here it is just 49,000 rupees. So try to join this course, so this will be absolutely beneficial. Okay, so if you have any queries, so please call me on this number 8074765513. And if you want to watch the demo videos, you can visit our website rathodisacademy.com. There you have to register with your email ID. After that, you can watch 3 demo videos with a free of cost. So now let us try to see today's Hindu newspaper PDF. So this is our today's Hindu, and the date here is August 18th, and this is Delhi edition, which is the one I am showing you on the screen. So here the first article is regarding MHA, that is Ministry of Home Affairs overrules Minister's tweet on providing flats to Rohingyas. So here you have to know about who are these Rohingyas, so where they are from and what is the issue of these Rohingyas. Okay, so these Rohingyas, they are the migrants from the Myanmar, and they are living in a camp in the Delhi, and they will be shifted to flats. Okay, but the Ministry of Home Affairs issued a strong denial regarding this. Okay, so this is the issue which is going on. And if you move on to this page number 2, in the city page, there is nothing much important. And this page number 3, here you can see NF, that is North East Frontier Railway, plans ropeway to this Kamkya temple. So this Kamkya temple is very, very important. So there we can see it is one of the Shakti Peeth, and here we can see it is located in this Guwahati, and it is very much famous for this menstrual period of this goddess. Okay, and next one here is, if you move on to this page number 4, there is nothing much important, and this page number 5, that is states page, here you can see Godavari flows above the danger mark in Telangana. So here you have to see which are the important tributaries of this Godavari and important dams which are located on this river Godavari, and where it had been raised. So you have to know some basic facts. And here in this image you can see Assam Rifles Jawans with the drugs seized from Sugnu town in Manipur. So you have to know about some facts regarding this Assam Rifles. And if you move on, here you can see one image. So it is a very famous, actually Tharmanite is very much famous for the bangles. So here this infographic which mainly says that women selecting bangles near Charminar in Hyderabad and Wednesday. Crescent Handicrafts Artisans Welfare Association has filed an application for securing GI tag for lakh bangles which are manufactured in the city. So this article is talking about GI tag for this lakh bangles. So once after getting this GI tag for this lakh bangles, so we have to go for the discussion once again. Okay. So if you move forward, here in this editorial page, I discussed about this adoption process, and there is one article regarding this fourth Taiwan crisis. You have to go through that once. And I discussed about this Maritime Partnership article, and in this op-ed page I discussed about this data opportunity at this G20, and here this data point is very important. So it is talking about improved drinking water. So how we have improved drinking water, and even providing of gas cylinders and toilet facilities, pakka houses in the India. So you have to go through this article and you have to see where your state actually stands. And in this text and context, I discussed about this Arctic warming topic. And if you move forward, here in this page number 10, there is nothing much important. And page number 11, also there is nothing much important. And this page number 12, here you can see here, Delhi's PM 2.5 levels worst in the world. So I discussed this topic. And here center projects record production of rice. So this article is also very important. And if you move on to this page number 13, here you can see India-China troops to take part in Russia war games in Vostok. So this article is also important. And here you can see one of the important topic of the day is 5 million face power cuts over heat wave. So more than 5 million people in the southwest China, they are facing rolling power cuts. Okay, because of heat wave creates an electricity supply crunch. Okay, so here temperature in this Sichuan province have surpassed 40 degrees centigrade in the recent days. Okay, so because of this it led to demand for air conditioning to spike, so that led to the frequent power cuts. And next one here is North Korea fired 2 cruise missiles. So North Korea fired 2 cruise missiles on Wednesday. Okay, Seoul's defense ministry said, ending a months-long lull in Pyongyang record-breaking spate of weapons test this year. So here US and South Korea, their military authorities, they are analyzing the detailed specification or regarding that flight distance. Okay, North Korea had not tested a cruise missile which has not banned under this United Nations security on the country. So this is the thing which mainly said, and you have to see about those missiles once. And this one here is appreciation of rupee. So rupee strengthened 29 pies to 79.452 a dollar. Okay, so this is the one important thing. And apart from that, here you can see India's oil demand to rise 7.73% in 2022, OPEC says. So India's demand for petroleum products like petrol, diesel, that will grow by 7.73% in 2022. Okay, the fastest pace in the world. So this is according to this report by this OPEC. So here you have to know about which of the countries part of this OPEC. Okay, so this is your homework. So these are some important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper, and these are the today's current affairs. So by this I am concluding. So I hope you enjoyed this lecture. So if you really like this lecture, so please hit the like button and share this video to your friends. And apart from this, if you are new to this Rathod Science Academy channel, so please subscribe to this channel and also hit the bell icon so that you will be getting regular notifications whenever we are uploading the video without any delay. So by this I am concluding. Thank you so much and have a nice day.